Thank you very much, Jimmy, and welcome to everybody. What a fabulous room this is, and it always looks even better when there are a lot of people in the room. This year it's been tough out there, and I know our board of directors have had to work very hard, and Darshak, our chairman, have had to work very hard to get the numbers that we always like to get for this function. But thank you for being here, thank you for your support, and I hope by the end of the night you'll understand why we enjoy doing what we're doing. But before we start, we lost probably the greatest cricketer that has ever lived in the last few weeks in Sir Garfield Sobers. The best batsman that I ever saw, the best all-rounder that I ever saw, and one of the most modest, humble human beings. So if I could ask you, just interrupt your entree for just 1 minute. Just ask you to stand in place, where those of you that can, and just have a moment's silence for the great Sir Garfield Sobers. Thank you all very much. Got a few special people in the room, and I hope that I get to mention all of you and don't leave anyone out that I should mention. But our patrons in the room tonight, we've got the Honourable John Howard. John, I can see sitting in front of me there. Happy birthday. Belated birthday greetings. I believe that as a cricket supporter you would know the importance or the feeling around the number 87. Now I know a lot of dressing rooms that I've been in over the years when someone was on 87, you couldn't change seats, and in a lot of places you had to keep your feet off the ground until they moved off 87. Well, I'm sorry. We probably won't be able to manage that, but the good news I've got for you, it's actually your 88th year, so you'll be okay. John McMurtry. John obviously is one of our patrons. He's also probably the reason we're all here tonight, because without John's support from before we even started, we would never have got the Chappell Foundation off the ground. So John, lovely to have you with us once again. And James Sutherland sitting in front of me here as well. James, former CEO of Cricket Australia and now CEO of Golf Australia, and has been a great supporter throughout the time and helps us a great deal with our auction items. So lovely to see you, James. Of our ambassadors, Bronte Campbell, Lisa Slaker, who's also a past board member of the Chappell Foundation, and Stephanie Brantz, who's also here in her role with Victoria, with the Venues New South Wales. So some of the noted people in the room: Todd Greenberg, CEO of Cricket Australia; David Gallop, Chair of Venues New South Wales; and Tony Shepherd, former Chair of Venues New South Wales, both great supporters of the Chappell Foundation, and thank you for allowing us to hold our annual dinners. This is our 9th in such a great venue. One of my favourite cricket grounds, and I know we just had a few people in the dressing room downstairs, and a couple of the past players. We've all talked about how fondly we think of the Sydney Cricket Ground. So to be able to hold these functions here is a great thrill for us. Greg Healy is the new chair of the Cricketers Association. Vera Poole, Lynn O'Brien, Lisa I've mentioned, Lisa Slaker, and Ralph Hobbs, past board members of the Chappell Foundation, and we thank you for your service over the years. Thanks also to the directors of the Chappell Foundation. I mean, this is a unique charity. Everyone involved with the charity are volunteers. We don't pay anybody, and so therefore the majority of the money, apart from the costs of an evening like this, the money that is raised go to the 7 charities that we support. So it's quite a unique charity in that regard, and I think there are something like 60,000 charities in Australia. So we're one of 60,000 out there competing. But I don't think there would be a significant other charity in Australia that runs the model that we run. So without the sterling work of our directors, and of course led by the indomitable Darshak Mehta, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So well done to all of you guys. Particular mention, of course, to 2 of the directors, Arjun Deer and Ross Gales, who've done a mountain of work to get this function going and to get the place looking like it is. So to you guys, well done. To Jimmy Smith. Jimmy, our MC and erstwhile auctioneer, Jimmy was called up at the last moment, and as he's always done, he's been a great supporter of the foundation and does a great job. Jimmy, we're really grateful for what you do. Bruce Adams. Bruce is probably, well, even before the date was announced for this function, Bruce had paid his $10,000. He wanted to put a table. He's been one of our great supporters right throughout. So to Bruce, thank you. To Jamie Sutherland from Flight Centre, again a great supporter of ours and a wonderful provider of auction items that help us raise a great deal of money, and he's put a table together from Brisbane at a time when he's had quite a bit of personal setbacks in recent times. So again, his support is very well regarded, as is Brian Davies, another great supporter from Brisbane, who's put a table together and is with us here tonight. I'd like also to mention the Merchant Charitable Foundation. Gordon Merchant from Billabong fame has been a great supporter of ours in recent years and is a significant donor to the cause, as John McMurtry mentioned before, continues his great support. And Basil Sellers, one of our patrons that can't be with us tonight, unfortunately not well enough to be here, but has made significant donations to our charity. The Test cricketers in the room, Alex Blackwell and Lisa Stalaker. Doug Walters is with us again, as is Len Pascoe. Jeff Thompson is here, of course, and I thought I saw Jeffrey Lawson somewhere in the crowd. Hi, Jeffrey. And Phil Emery. There's Phil up the back. He just had some significant operations, and so I was glad to see that you're up and walking, Phil, and you can be with us tonight. Thank you. So as I said, we're a unique charity, fully volunteer. I'd like to say that we deliver 99.94% of the money that we raise. That's quite an interesting number that we've chosen, but that'll do. In the room, we've got 6 of the 7 charity partners represented here tonight. Backtrack, Burdekin Association, Taldamanda Youth Services, Stepping Stones we've heard about, Ways, Raw Potential, and Coffee Brigade are the only ones that couldn't be here with us tonight. But it's great to have you guys in the room. I'm particularly delighted to be able to say that there are 3 generations of the Chappell family here tonight. Judy and I, of course, but Stephen and Melissa, our eldest son and daughter-in-law, and our eldest grandson Samuel is with us tonight, and it's great to have you guys here. Unfortunately, Ian and Trevor are apologies. Trevor's overseas doing some coaching at the moment, and Ian's just not up to being with us on the night, but they certainly they're here in spirit, and they send their best wishes. But it's great. People ask me, why are you doing this? And you know, it's an interesting question, and I sometimes ask that of myself, as I'm sure Darshak does, and many of our board members do from time to time. I was lucky enough to to represent Australia at cricket. I captained Australia on 48 occasions and played on this and many other lovely cricket grounds around the world. But I can tell you, whilst I've got some great memories of people, places and matches that we won and we lost, they pale into insignificance compared to what we can achieve with this foundation. I know when we started, Darshak and I, we were talking about, what the cause would be that we'd support. And we talked about that it had to be about young people and it had to be in Australia. And we thought then that, if we could help put one life back together again, it would be worthwhile. And we now know that we affect 100, 200, hundreds of lives per year with the money that's raised from functions like this. And I know, a lot of you think that it would take quite a bit of money, but $1,000 can go a long way to the cause of supporting these young people. For instance, $1,000 could pay for 5 psychologist sessions. It could pay the accommodation of a young person for a month plus support. Nellie, who will be hearing from a little bit later in the evening, has spent 3 years in the supported living at Stepping Stones. So we can have a big impact. We don't have to raise a lot of money, but as Jimmy said, Darshak will be here to twist your arm and to corral you into a corner and try and rip the wallet out of your pocket. But if you can look deep into your hearts and into your souls and support us, with what we're trying to do, it would be very, very important as well. None of it would be possible without our chairman, Darshak, and I know he doesn't like me talking about it, but the energy and the passion that he brings to this cause is remarkable. And the work that he puts into this and to Alpana, his wife, who obviously has to put up with quite a bit and supports him right throughout it. I'd like to thank you both. You're very special people and for the work that you do. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I mean, Jeffrey, Robert Thompson, we've got as a special guest. Tomo and I are great mates. We go back a long way together. In fact, I convinced him to move from New South Wales to Queensland many years ago. And he's very happy to be in Queensland, I can tell you. But he'll come out with, we'll hear some wonderful stories from Tomo later on. What you see is what you get. And again, as with all of us, he's got a great woman by his side, and it's lovely to see Cheryl here with him as well tonight. So have a great night, everybody, and dig deep. Thank you very much.